So, good morning to all of you. Good morning to all of you. So, last class we discussed about uh, directional control valve or spool valve, and also we discussed about pneumatic power supply. Here, fresh air is entering to the pneumatic power supply. See, all of you remember the pneumatic power supply or hydraulic power supply. In the pneumatic power supply, the electric motor runs the compressor. Whereas in the hydraulic power supply, the electric motor runs the pump. That is the difference. See here, when the air enters sucked, the from one filter is there, filter arrangement. Just I am summarize the last previous class. I am summarizing the last previous class. Here the filter it will eliminate all the impurities from the air, right? And then it enters into the compressor. There the air gets compressed. Here this much amount of air is sucked inside the compressor, and it is compressed to a small amount. That means the volume decreases, the pressure increases, temperature increases. So the output of the compressor is a high pressurized, high temperature compressed air. So to cool that compressed air, we have to arrange one cooler. So after cooling, what happened? The air, some of the particles will get moist, right? Some moist. So we have to arrange some water tap filter. So water particles will drop down after cooling. And then before the compressor, we have to arrange one another component, that is pressure relief valve. That is, for example, if the pressure is very high, it creates damage to the system. So we have to arrange a pressure relief valve, thereby it protects the system from high pressure. So then automatically it goes to the sends to the cooler, and after that it goes to the filter or water tap, and then next it goes to the air storage device, that is compressed air storage device. Compressed air storage device. Compressed air storage device. And the next, this stored compressed air will be used wherever we need. That is the thing, right? Huh? And then we discuss directional control, right? Or spool valve. See here, in these two ports are there. When the air enters, the spool, the valve will moves. Thereby, here another three ports are there in that spool valve, directional control valve. So one port is for opening to the fresh air, and another port is opening to the vent to the atmosphere. Another port is we have to connect to the system. So right, and then next we discussed about the pneumatic system and hydraulic system also for lifting up of load. To lift the load, or to lift up the load, or to lift down the load, we have to use a directional control valve. With the help of that control valve, the load will be lifted up as well as the load will be lifted down. So we discussed that topics in the last previous class. Now we are going to discussing about valves and symbols. Valves means, in other words, components. In the syllabus, it is given that components of hydraulic and pneumatic activation system. Components means a valve is also a components. Last class we discussed a directional control valve is also a components, and some different valves are there. Now we will discuss that one. And electro-pneumatic and hydro-pneumatic system. Here, electro-pneumatic means we have to understand that electro-pneumatic activation system it is, and hydro-pneumatic activation system. In electro-pneumatic, what we discussed, the pneumatic components, that is a compressor, right, some linear actuator. Linear actuator is there. That a linear actuator is nothing but single acting cylinder or a double acting cylinder. These are all the components. If you go for electro means, then it comes, that means we have to use some electrical arrangement that is like a solenoids, like that. And hydro pneumatic means we can use like a pumps and uh, this is the combination of both hydro and pneumatic. This is a, we can also call it as a electro hydro system. So now we'll discuss. Right, these are the valve symbols. Valve symbols, if you see clearly, 1 minute. Right. See here, if you see clearly, these the valve symbols. This here, this system, this is this indicates the flow path. Remember this point. This one I will ask you. You have to write on a paper and then we have to share it. So remember this point. I will ask the symbols, flow symbols. It's very, very important. Why? Because if you understand these symbols, then only the next topic it is understandable. Otherwise, it's very difficult to understand. Remember this point. Then, um, see here, this is a flow path. This indication indicates the flow takes place. That means, for example, here some arrangement that is maybe some hydraulic supply, or this is a hydraulic supply, or compressed air supply. Anyway, we can go for this. If you go for hydraulic, it is a hydro, that means liquid supply, oil supply. And if you go for pneumatic, it is a compressed air supply. And then this here the flow takes place, and then this enters into a system. For example, if you use see here, if you use, for example, single acting cylinder, that is uh, single acting cylinder, that is a linear actuator, single acting cylinder, where the piston is moving. See, if you see this arrangement, if you give it here correctly, right, then a flow occurs, maybe some hydraulic or pneumatic, and then it passes, and then compressed air, it pushes the piston to move forward. It pushes the piston to move forward. 1 minute. And then next, see here, this is a flow path arrangement, right? And then if you come to this point, this is a flow setup. That means the supply, maybe a hydraulic or a pneumatic supply, this indicates, that means if it is like this, this symbol indicates that power supply, maybe hydraulic power supply or pneumatic power supply is shut off. That means cut off. The supply is cut off. That means what is the supply here? It is either a hydraulic supply or pneumatic power supply is cut off. This symbol indicates. And this indicates this is the initial connections. This is the initial connections. For example, here, see here, how many ports? 1, 2, 3, 4 ports. That's depending upon that. Maybe 4 ports are there, 5 ports are there, or 3 ports are there. Initial connections. So again, I'm repeating all of you clearly. This is very important. If you understand this only, then you can go for the some pneumatic circuit diagrams and hydraulic circuit diagrams are there. Then you can easily understand. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Remember this point. All of you listen carefully. So here again, I'm repeating this valve symbol. This indicates the flow path. The flow, what is the flow? Pneumatic supply or hydraulic supply. This supply will goes to the system arrangement. So for example, linear actuator. Linear actuator means the piston moves linearly. So that means a cylinder piston arrangement. Here the piston moves linearly, and this indicates this is a flow shutoff. This is the flow shutoff means the pneumatic power supply or hydraulic power supply is cut off, and this is initial conditions. And then next, if you go for different types of buttons, see this is push button. I think all of you know that when you push it here, automatically it activates, it energizes, it works, it functions. So that means when you push it here, some external force, all of you know that. For example, our switch, electrical switch, is a push button, right? And see, if you see, normally there are so many push buttons are there. Just we have to push it, then automatically the system will activate, or the wall will activate, right? And then this by lever arrangement is there. Some lever arrangement. So, with the help of the lever, maybe in the direction control valve, we see in the lever arrangement is there. 1, 2, 3 engagement, right? That lever arrangement. So, with the help of the lever arrangement, the system will activate or deactivate. That means engaged or de-engaged. And roller, or same roller also same. These are all the mechanical button, mechanicals. And plunger, right? All of you know that. And spring is also mechanical. A spring. So here, when the pressure applies automatically, the spring will comes in this position, and then after that it comes to the original position. That means activate and deactivate. And then solenoid. Solenoid is purely electrical. Solenoid is purely electrical, right? The symbol of the solenoid is, this is the symbol, right? So obviously here, this indicates the symbol. See here, this is the symbol, solenoid symbol. All of you know that solenoid, right? Solenoid. And detonate. This is this one. It holds this position. Holds the position. That means holds. Sometime it will holds. And this is by application of a pneumatic pressure. So here this indicates, this arrow mark indicates the application of pneumatic pressure. And this one is by pedal. This is a pedal indication symbol. So like this, for example, depending upon the application, we can use in industries, maybe in small scale industries and large scale, we can use these almost all here. We are using this one, main solenoid we are using, and push button. Actually, most of the things we are using push buttons as well as solenoids, these two. And then for this symbol indicates, for example, all of you see here, again, this symbol indicates vent to atmosphere. This symbol indicates vent to atmosphere, better write down on the paper. The symbol indicates vent to atmosphere. That means it goes out to the atmosphere. And this symbol indicates supply. Supply of, that means this symbol. Again, see how. 1 minute. See here, this symbol, circle and dot, this indicates supply of pressure supply or hydraulic supply, right? This indicates vent to atmosphere. This indicates vent to atmosphere, this one. And this indicates power supply, maybe hydraulic power supply or pneumatic power supply. You got all the points, right? So again, I'm repeating, this symbol indicates vent to atmosphere, and this symbol indicates power supply. That means hydraulic power supply or pneumatic power supply. Next, we'll go for the next one. So now all of you understand, right? And next we'll go for the next one. And see, this is the flow control valves, right? This is also, we have to listen carefully, right? Right, all of you see here, right? Flow control valves. Here are the flow control valves. Flow control valves. This is a 2 by, are you getting my voice? It is audible to all of you? It is audible? If it is not audible, then immediately you have to respond in the chat box. See here, 2 by 2 wall, 2 by 2 wall. See here in this, already we discussed this. What is this? Anybody? What is this? What is this? Anybody? Right, very good. Push button. Basha, it is right. It is a push button, right? And this indicates what is this? Anybody? This indicates what is this? This one. This one. Here it is appearing to you. This one. I am asking this one. What is this? Flow path, right? Very good. As a Basha only responding, how to respond the other members. This one indicates. This one. Shut off, right? So other persons are not responding. I told to you via in the previous slide, I will ask. So only Basha is responding. Basha, your number, what is your number? Just you have to rename your roll number and your name. Basha, good. Very good, Nana. Sheikh Ismail Basha. Right. See here in this 2 by 2 wall. 2 by 2 wall. Good. Good, Basha. 2 by 2 wall, right? See here, this 2 by 2 wall, here the 2 indicates 2 ports. And here this 2 indicates 2 position changing. That means here in this 2 by 2 wall means 2 indicates, first 2 indicates number of ports. And the next 2 indicates position changing, 2 positions changing. So that means here, here 2 ports. If you see clearly observe, this is the 1 port, Simba 1 port, and this is the second port. This is the second port, right? 2 ports and 2 positions. See here, if you see, this is 1 position flow path, and this is the second position shut off or cut off. The supply is cut off. That means 2 positions, changing 2 positions. Again, I'm repeating, all of you clearly listen. 2 by 2 wall means 2 indicates, first 2 indicates 2 ports, and the second 2 indicates position, 2 positions changing, 2 positions changing. See here, the 2 ports are at here. This is the first port, and this is the second port. Here I am mentioning the names 1 and 2 ports, right? And 2 ports. And this is 2 position. That is this 2 position. That means one is a flow position, flow path position. Another one is cutoff position. These 2 positions changing, 2 ports and 2 positions. Now you can get the idea, right? 1 minute. You got it, right? Here 2 ports, that means having 2 ports, and 2 positions. That means this is the first, this is the anyone you can, this is the changes. This is the position 1 and this is the position 2. 2 positions. That means 2 positions changing. The flow occurs and the flow path cutoffs. These are the 2 positions. So by operating, again, I'm see here when you, this is the initially power supply, it is a cutoff. When you push this button, this position changes into this position. This position changes into this position. So when you push the button, again when you push the button, again the position, it comes to the initial position. This is the, again it comes to the, again this position, and again this position. I don't understand. Again I'm repeating, all of you see here. Initially this is the position that is cut off. When you push the button, this position changes into this position, then the flow occurs. Then the flow occurs. Again, again when you push the button, again it comes to the initial position. This is the initial position. How it is clear? When you push the button, first initially, again I'm repeating. Initially, this is the position. This is the position, right? When you push the button, automatically this position will come at here. So then the flow occurs. Flow occurs. Again, when you push the button, again it comes to the original position. This is the original position. This is like, that means when you push the button, the flow occurs. Again, when you push the button, the flow stops. Cut-offs. That is the thing. Now, next one. Are you understand? And this is 3x2 wall. See here, this is 3x2 wall. 3 means indicates what I said. The first point is ports, number of ports. 3 ports and 2 positions. Here see 3 ports. First 1 port, second port, and the third port. Right. So 3 ports. First port, this is the first port, and the second port, and third port. 3 ports, 2 positions. This is the first position, and this is the second position. Changing, 2 positions changing. So now here, if you see clearly the first port, if you give to the power supply, that means the power supply symbol, this is the power supply symbol. And this is the second port we have to give to the system. And the third port is a reservoir. See here, R indicates a reservoir. That means you can go for the, it connect to the reservoir, or we have to go for vent to the atmosphere. Anyone you can give vent to the atmosphere, or reservoir means again recycle. That means what I said it to you in the pneumatic supply, power supply, that is the air receiver is there. Then again it goes to the storage tank. That is the reservoir. So now you can clear idea. Here this symbol, anybody, can you tell what is this symbol? Anybody? This symbol, already we discussed in the previous slide. This symbol. Anybody? Solenoid, right? Very good. Number 32, very good. It is a solenoid symbol. When the solenoid is not energized, this is the position. Right? When the solenoid is energized, then this is the position. That means the position changing. These 2 positions. Once the solenoid is energized, is not energized. The solenoid is not energized. This is the position, right? When the solenoid is energized, again I'm repeating, all of you clear here. This is this symbol indicates a solenoid. When the solenoid is not energized, is not energized, then this is the symbol, right? This is the symbol. One minute. See here, when the solenoid is not energized, this is a symbol. When the solenoid is energized, this is a symbol. So now we can get the clear, right? This is the this position initial. That is when the solenoid is not energized. And this is the position when the solenoid is energized. That means here the changing, if you see clearly, see here, when the pneumatic power supply or hydraulic power supply is given to the system, for example, a single acting cylinder, or that is a linear activator. If you give the power supply, so what happens? It push the piston, right? And see here, this is a reservoir is cut off, went to atmosphere. When the position changes, see here, this position, if you see clearly, I am writing with another color. When comes into this position, here whatever the air in the cylinder will comes out, and then if the position changes, this is the position. Again, I'm writing, see here, this is the position. the air or hydraulic will goes out through the reservoir, and this power supply, see here, is cut off. This is cut off. This is cut off. The power supply is cut off. And whatever the hydraulic or pneumatic, that means air or oil will goes out in this direction. See here, this symbol, this position is changing it here when the solenoid is energized. So whatever the compressed air, that means the piston is moving in the reverse direction. When it is reverse moving in the reverse direction, automatically whatever the air, compressed air here, will goes out through this flow path. This is the flow path. And it goes to the reservoir or went to, or indicates reservoir or went to atmosphere. And here, if you see, this symbol will come set here. This symbol indicates cut off. That is, the power supply is cut off. So now you got the clear, right? And then next come to the next one. Here, 4x2 wall, right? A 4x2 wall. This symbol indicates a solenoid. So almost all in widely used this push button as well as solenoids. So depending upon the application mode, majorly push button and solenoid is used. So if you observe clearly, this is in this 4x2 wall. This 4 indicates number of ports. The first, second, this is the first one, and this is the second one, and this is the third one, and this is the fourth one, right? 4 ports. This is the 4 ports, right? The 4 ports, right? This is port 1, right? 4 ports and 2 positions. This is the first position and this is the second position. 2 positions. 2 positions. That means 2 positions. 4 ports and 2 positions. And if you see here, if you indicates this is the power supply, if you give the power supply, and it goes to the one system, one linear actuator system. The power supply gives to the one linear actuator system. And this is connected to the another system. This 4x2 valve is used for connecting 2 systems, and this is connecting to another system, linear actuator. And whatever the pneumatic, that means maybe a hydraulic, oil, or compressed air will goes out and then it comes to the reservoir or went to atmosphere, right? And here from this power supply is given to the another system, that is a linear actuator. This is the flow takes place, maybe a pneumatic or a hydraulic. So for example, when the solenoid is energized, then the position, this position will comes to this position at here. Then I will show you with another color. So see here, here when it comes at here, this, see here, this supply here in this, whatever the hydraulic or compressed air will goes out through this reservoir, right? Through or went to atmosphere. And if you see here, the power supply here is given to the another system. See here, it gives to the another system. So if you clearly observe, see here the power supply. This one will come set here, and then again power supply will given to the another system. Here in the previous, the power supply and right. Here is in the previous, the power supply is given to the system 1. For example, if you go for, this is the system 1, right? And from the system 2, whatever the oil or compressed air will goes to the reservoir or went to the atmosphere. Now when the solenoid gets energized, the position changes and this position comes at here. And then if you clearly observe, now the power supply is given to the second system, right? And whatever the oil and the compressed air will goes out to the reservoir. See here, this is the thing. So you have to, this is one we have to listen carefully. So now all of you understand, right? Right. Now the time is 12:05, right? We'll discuss another 15 minutes, right? And I will take that as. And then next, now all of you understand, right? Now go to the next slide. So now the pneumatic power supply will ask one by one. So number 301, 301, the symbol of this, what is the symbol? 301, the symbol of this one. symbol. 301, you have to post in the message. 301. Here, 301, yes, Chipamma. Symbol of this one, symbol. What is the symbol? Fast. 301. You responded. You have to post a message in the chat box. What is the symbol? Fast. If you know means no. Three not one. See here, I am telling, but you are not listening. This, what I understand from this, you are not listening the class clearly. And number 304. Right, push button, correct. 301, push button, correct. And this symbol, this symbol, this symbol. 301 or 304, anyone. This symbol. Flow path, very good. 304, very good. Right. And this symbol, 301. Three not eight. Right, shut off. Right, very good. Very good, very good, very good. Now, see here, this is the pneumatic lift system or pneumatic actuation system. We can also call it as a pneumatic actuation system. See here, clearly, if you observe clearly, first, see here, this is this wall, this is a 2x2 wall. This is 2x2 wall. Yes, am I right? 2x2 wall. This is a 2x2 wall. This is a 2x2 wall. That means two ports here. This is 2 ports and 2 positions. This is the first position and this is the second position. 2x2 wall. So here we are arranging two 2x2 walls. This is the first one and this is the second one. 2x2 walls, right? So now all of you see here. When you push this button, what happens? When you push this button, this position will occur at this position. That means it comes at here, right? When it comes at here, right? This position, when push this button, it comes at this position and the power supply takes place, right? Indication of the power supply. So here the power supply takes place at here, and then next it goes to at here, and then it lifts up the piston. That is, it lift up the load. Lift up the load. The direction movement will be in this direction. Here maybe a supply is a pneumatic power supply or hard drive. Again, I am repeating, all of you listen carefully. Undo. I am getting undo, right? See here, when you push this button, this position, this is the first initial position. When you push this button, this position comes at here. The position changes. The power supply may be hydraulic. Here we are discussing about the pneumatic, right? Pneumatic power supply. That means compressed air. Here the compressed air enters into the wall, and then it flows. Flow occurs, and then it enters into the system. Here, once the air enters into the system, the compressed air, it pushes the up. So thereby the load is lifted up. Thereby the load is lifted up, right? So that is the thing. Again, when you push this button, what happens when you push these buttons? This is the initial one, and the changing, this position is changing. That means when you push this button, this position will off condition. That means again we have to off this one. And again, what happens? Whatever the compressed air at here will goes out in this direction, and then this position comes at this, and then it goes out to the vent to atmosphere. So that is the thing. Lifting. That means the load is lifted down. In this case, the load is lifted down. Again, I'm repeating, all of you clearly see. Here, when you push this button, the position changes from this position to this position. So thereby the compressed air enters, right? Compressed air enters, and then this compressed air will enters into the system, and then it will lift it up. The load is lifting up. And right, whatever the area at here will goes out this here, some another went to atmosphere right down. Here, whatever the area at here, it goes out initially. And then next, you have to stop this up button. Again, it comes to this initial position. Again, it comes to the initial position. Again, we have to push the button down. And see here, whatever the air at here, what happens, it goes into this one. And then the changes here changes, and then goes to the vent to atmosphere. And then left here, the load is lifting down. So that is the thing. With the help of the buttons, push buttons, we can lift the load up, and similarly we can down the load. So right, any question here? One person 380 for indication of capacitor and flow cutoff is same. So no, that is different, and this is different. The capacitor is different. The capacitor function here, the function of the capacitor is not here. Here it is only cutoff, right? It is not here. One person, that is Banerjee, his name is Banerjee, is telling that indication of capacitor and flow cutoff is same, sir. No. The flow, that is the symbol in this pneumatic and hydraulic actuation system, right? It's not working as a, it's not functioning like a capacitor. So right, next we will go for the next one. Or to understand this one, pneumatic lift actuation system, or the pneumatic actuation system. Or to understand? So when you push this button, automatically what happened? The lift is moving up. And when you push this button, what happens? The lift is moving down, right? Whatever the compressed air here will goes out through this vent to atmosphere. When you push this button, so what happened? The compressed air will goes into the system, and then lift is up, is moving in up position. That means the load is moving up. Here, this is the load arrangement. Then we'll go for the next one. And electro-hydraulic pneumatic, the electro-hydraulic actuation system. See here, electro-hydraulic, that means hydraulic actuation system. Hydraulic electro-hydraulic actuation system. Electro-hydraulic actuation system. This is, if you see here, electro means here, if you observe clearly, these electric here we are using a motor, right? This pressure relief valve sensors and directional control valves. So these are, this symbol indicates supply. These are all coming under electronics, right? Electrical components, right? And hydraulic, this is a hydraulic, right? Hydraulic arrangements, oil in the reservoir. So we can call this an electro-hydraulic actuation system. So now I will explain you clearly. So what is happening, right? This is the linear actuator. That means a cylinder, this is a cylinder arrangement, and this is the piston arrangement. Cylinder piston. See here, the oil from the reservoir, here the electric motor is there. Electric motor, it drives the pump. So here the oil will suck, and then here filter is arrangement is there. Whatever the impurities in the oil will the filter eliminates, and then the pure oil will enters into the pump. So through driving of electric motor, and then here it will send some the oil will sends into the directional control valve. See here, this arrangement is there, high pressure relief valve, right? High pressure relief valve. In the reservoir, this hydraulic oil, that is a liquid oil having the pressure, this is a relief valve, it protects from high pressure, right? High pressurized oil. And then this oil enters, see here, if you see clearly, this is a 4x2 valve. That means here, this is a 2 port. That means 4 ports, first port, second port, and third port, fourth port, right? These four ports are there. When the directional control valve is activated, what happens? The pressurized oil enters into the system. See here, if you see here, okay, the enters into the system, and then the oil enters into the cylinder, and then the what happens? The piston moves in this direction. The piston moves in this direction, and whatever the oil yet here, it will goes out through this way, and then this is went to atmosphere, or it goes to the, this indicates it goes to the reservoir, or otherwise we have, it goes to the arrangement, this indicates it goes to the reservoir, right? Now it is clear to this position, right? Or you understand this position, right? It's clear, right? And the next, see here the power supply, see here, here the power supply is given in this direction. The first movement is in this direction, right? In this direction, first movement. And the directional control valve, if it is changes, that means through the lever arrangement or push anyway. See, this indicates some lever arrangement. This is a lever arrangement. This indicates the lever arrangement. So by the help of the lever arrangement, you can change the position. Then automatically what happens? See here, this one, the changes. This one changes. This one changes. Now what happens? It comes at this position, and this comes at this position, right? This comes at this position. So here now, see here, the whatever the pressurized air or pressurized oil will enters into this direction, and then it goes to in this direction, and then here the supply, the hydraulic, that is a pressurized oil will supply at here. So thereby it pushes the piston in this direction. The piston moves now in this direction, and whatever the pressurized oil at here will goes out in this direction, right? It goes into this direction and goes to the reservoir. So now it is clear, right? Or do you understand? So the working of this hydraulic activation system. Again, I'm repeating, all of you see here. And here the pressure gauge is arranged right here. So we have to check the how much pressure of pressurized oil is sending into the linear actuator. This is a linear actuator or cylinder piston arrangement. And here this is a low pressure relief valve. Here we are arranging a low pressure relief valve. See here, if the pressure falls down, means it protects. That means to make the correct, it will send the correct pressurized fluid into the system. Right, and the next we'll go for again. I'm repeating. All of you listen carefully. Here with the help of the electric motor, the oil sucks and it passes through the pump. Here the electric motor drives the pump. Here the pump sucks the oil, pressurized oil from the reservoir, and then it sends to the through this way, the flow path. All of you see clearly the direction, and then it enters into this, right? And thereby here the hydraulic, that is a pressurized oil, it pushes the piston back in this direction. And whatever the pressurized oil at here, it goes in this direction and it goes to the reservoir. This is the reservoir arrangement. So here symbol I am giving this reservoir symbol, right? That is the first one. When the directional control valve lever changes, and what happens? The position changes, right? The position changes. So that is the position will takes place in this direction, right? Right. So now what happens? Here the power supply will gives the hydraulic power supply will goes in this direction, and the other side of the cylinder, and then here the pressurized oil will moves the piston in this direction forward. It moves forward, and whatever the oil pressurized oil at here will goes out in this direction, right, to the reservoir. So now it is clear, right? And then this one, this we can also call, you can also see here, this is electro hydraulic. This one we can also call hydro electro pneumatic also. Here, if you change these two components, if you change this component, the power, instead of pump, you have to place the compressor, and here the reservoir, the fresh air, it is open to the atmosphere. It is open to the atmosphere. There is no reservoir, it is open to the atmosphere. And then instead of it, here we have to arrange a compressor at here. Then automatically it comes to the electro-pneumatic actuation system. So in the electro-pneumatic actuation system, we have to change the component. That is, instead of the this one pump, we have to place a compressor, and this connection we have to give to the atmosphere. So there is no reservoir. Then we can call it as an electro-pneumatic actuation system. The difference here, same we can write down. In the examination, if they ask electro-hydraulic, if you go to arrangement of a reservoir or a pump, and pump, go for electro-pneumatic, we have to arrange the component compressor, and then this one we have to open to the atmosphere direction. Here, same as the top, right? Pneumatic power supply, already we discussed it, right? Here, this one we have to give to the directly. No reservoir is there, no oil sump, and we have to, from this here, we have to give directly to the environment, that is atmosphere. Right? Clear or understand? Again, I'm repeating, this is the electro-hydraulic actuation system. In this electro-hydraulic actuation system, we are arranging a pump, that is electric motor drives the pump. Whereas in the electro-pneumatic actuation system, we have to arrange here you have to arrange a component, just a symbol, give a compressor. We have to name it as a compressor and filter. But here in the pneumatic actuation system, we have to, this one we have to give to the atmosphere. No reservoir. There is no oil sump reservoir. Right? So now it is clear. Now we'll go for the next one, that is the differences. Here, the difference between the hydraulic actuation system and pneumatic actuation system. Here, the major difference is here in the hydraulic actuation, leakage takes place. See here, leakage takes place. Here, the leakage. Here, this one is the leakage. Due to the leakages, what happens? The hazardous, that is unsafe to the fire hazardous. This is unsafe. The leakage takes place means some oil, it's very, it's explosion. Some oils are explosive, right? So when leakage takes place means, for example, so total fire takes place. So here already you've seen Vizag steel plant in a pipe flowing, maybe in 6 years, 8 years back, some fire, that means the damage takes place. So many members died. So due to this leakage will takes place, the fire hazards, right, sir? This is unsafe. The system is unsafe to happen. Whereas in the case of the pneumatic actuation system, leakage does not happen. I mean, there is no leakage because it is a compressed air, right? And see here, it is free from the fire hazards. It's free from the fire hazards. And if you see, it employs a pressurized liquid, and this is also employs a compressed gas or usually air, right? And see here, this is a 700 bar. That means what here you can understand. So one advantage is there in the hydraulic. So 700 bar. That means this hydraulic actuation system is used to lift up heavy loads. Whereas in the pneumatic system, the pressurizer is 5 to 10, only 5 to 10 bar. Here, if you see here, it is a 700 bar. If you see in the pneumatic 5 to 10 bar one, that means it lifts up only the nominal loads only. But whereas in the hydraulic, it lifts up heavy loads, it means 700 bar. That means the pressure is more. Once the pressure is more means the pressurized liquid, we can send pressurized oil, then we can lift up the loads heavily, heavy weights. We can. Whereas in the case of the pneumatic, it should not be happen. Only the moderate loads, it lift up the moderate loads. Because of see here, this hydraulic actuation is used to lift up heavy loads, whereas a pneumatic actuation system is used to lift up moderate loads or low loads. And here in this hydraulic actuation system, one disadvantage, what is that? Leakage. Leakage, if a leakage takes place means then automatically fire hazardous takes place. It's a fire. Whereas in the case of the pneumatic actuation system, leakage will not happen, right? There is no fire hazards. There is no fire. And this is automatic lubrication is provided, right? And in this special arrangements for our lubrications is needed. And in these pumps is used, and here the compressor is used, that means for pressurized liquid or pressurized air or pressurized gas. These valve operations are difficult, and these valve operations are very easy. Why? Because here the liquid is flowing, right? Oil. So the valve operation, sometimes it should be, the valve will not operate it sometimes. Some because of depending upon the environmental conditions. If it is too cold, means the valve will be stuck. So like this, valve operations are difficult. Whereas in this case, valve operations are easy. Why? Because the air is flowing or gas is flowing. So that is the thing, right? Any questions? Now I will take the attendance. The time is over. We have to respond one by one. Babu 327. So I will ask one by one. Then only you have to respond, right? 1 minute. Right. So number one, 4, 5, 5, 5, 7, 8, 7 present. Oh, correct. 8, 9, 9, 10, 10 number. 11, right. 12, 13, 14, right. 13, 14, right. 15, right. 16, 17, 17 option. 18, right, present. 19, 19, 20, 21, 22, right. 17 present. Okay, right. 23, right. 24, 25, right, present. 26, 27, 27, right. 28, 29, right. 30, right. 30, 30, 31, 31, 31 present. 31, 30 present. Okay, right. 32, 33, 34, 35, right. 36, 37, 37, right. 38, right. 39, 41, 41, 39 option come now. 39 present. Okay, right. 41, 41 present. 43 present. Okay. 44, 45, 46, 46, 47, 48, 44 present. Okay, right. 48, 48. I'm asking about 48 absent. 49 present. 50, 52, 52, right. 54, 55, 56, 60, 60, 60, 56, 56 absent. Right. 60, 61, 61, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, right. 70, 73, 74, 74, 75, okay. 76, 77, 78, 79, 79, right. 80, 81, 81, 83, 83, 84, 85, right. 86, 86, 88, right. 88, right. Okay. 88, 89, 89, right. 90, 91, 91. Okay, 89 present. 91, 9, lateral entry 92, 92, 92 option, right. Lateral entry 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 17 option amma, right present. 18, 19, 20, 20 amma, 20, 20. 20 present. 21, 23, 24, 25, 25. Okay, 25 option amma. 26, 27, right, 28, 29, 30, 30 amma. 30, number 30, lateral to 30. Right, 31, 32, 32, 33, right, 34, 35, 36, 37, 36, 36 number, 36 option time, 37, 38, 37 number, 37 option time, 38, 39, 39, 40, 40, 41, 43. Here, just I will read out the opportunities. All of you check. 5, 10, 48, 56, 61, 69, 74, 79, 81, lateral entry 21, 23, 25, 32, 36, 37, 39, 40, 43. Anybody else? 43 present, right? Okay, now 43 and 24, 24 present. 305 permission, lateral permission 305. Okay, and 320, 320, okay, 320, okay, 320 present, okay, Nana, okay. The next 320 present, Nana, okay. Lateral entry 320, regular 320, lateral 320, 35 Mohan side present, okay, and 365, 65 present, I given present, okay. Again, I'm reading all of you see here. Number 10, 48, 56, 61, 69, 74, 79, 81, and 21, 23, 25, 32, 36, 37, 39, 40. 43 present amount. Okay. 92. 92 present. So given present. 92 present. Okay. Okay. Thanks to all of you.